like they're screaming your name, Frederick, 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 Frederick. They want that show. They want Fred and Ziggy show, or they want really Friggy. Yeah, he said that we'll have something in a day or two when we go over some stuff about summer. We were just talking about summer and how he was wanting to do. I mean, this is quite the task, because these people like Killer Looks, for example, who make these uploads and find all this stuff and put it together. That takes forever. I mean, he probably by now has people that help him, like probably, sometimes helps him send him stuff. Like I do have, some people sometimes will help me, like send me stuff, or make my intro or whatever, but getting started, doing that stuff, I'm not used to that kind of stuff, but that's something like kind of what Fred is wanting to do and put certain things together, especially about Knoxville, I think, mainly. And we were talking about that because Fred was just saying it's just the only thing that makes sense is this Knoxville theory. Just Knoxville keeps coming up. It's just the only thing that makes freaking sense. And like, he replays everything in his head over and over again, constantly, and like, think of it as if you were him, this stuff happened to you. And like, I see it. I mean, I know, like there's new stuff all the time that he thinks of, or, he's lived there his whole life basically, and been in that and around a lot of not very good people at times. So a lot of times. So isn't Knoxville where Dawn goes? Yes. And it was even mentioned, like he wants to put together, like where Jody Sue was even mentioning Knoxville before Fred had, or anything had ever come up about Knoxville, And then we had this like Lady of the Night call, which who knows, is that shit's bullshit or not? But man, it seems like very like.
But it lines up with the.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the situation where Fred. Like that's a whole other thing we haven't even talked about that they don't even really know about. So yeah, there's a lot to tell you guys about, because you guys don't know like the details of why Fred went to Hawkins County and turned in his phone and stuff. He wasn't asked to, like, he was asked to then after given the information, but he went on his own free will. He was going there anyways, but it was something going on behind the scenes for a while, because there was somebody at the Knoxville house who claimed to know Playboy and like gave a lot of details and claimed Summer Wells was in this man's home. And this was conversations that Fred, huh?
Along with 10 other children.
And along with 10 other children. One name he was bringing up is Jonathan Tate, which Jonathan Tate, like that name's like that's more like Jonathan Tate, like
he was the only boy there.
Yeah, that's supposedly from Kingsport or something. I don't know. But they had many conversations in text. This guy said it was claiming like he could get like Summer, like, and that he claimed that he talked to Summer Wells, and that she claimed that she was 9 years old and that she knew her daddy, like her dad traded her or something like that, right?
He had to give her up for the drug debt.
Yeah, this is what this guy was claiming. Like it lined up with everything from this call. And this happened over a long period of time. And so, like, because this guy was in the house with Fred, and like Fred didn't know what to do. This guy claimed he was affiliated with the Vice Lords, and that his father was killed. But man claimed his father was killed by Playboys because of Playboy, yeah. And so he kind of had he didn't really care anyways, and he said that the Vice Lords really aren't really cool with kid stuff anyways. So like I think he like validated it in his mind. It sounded like because it like why he was being like a snitch or whatever. It was he was claiming that his dad was killed by Playboy or something to do with Playboy because of Playboy or something like that, and that he didn't like that Playboy was like into children, crimes to do with children and making money off children. Like, and supposedly that it's not like the actual gang that's affiliated. It's just this particular person that I don't think that the gang. I mean, this is what this guy is saying. Okay. It's all recorded. Yeah, and so he was claiming that he was going to get some, like actually, like one. Oh my gosh! Like one time. Oh, there's so much. One time he claimed that he was actually with Summer Wells, right?
Yeah, he was with them all while they.
Yeah, he claimed to be at Playboy's while he was on the phone with Fred, right? Yeah. And he was like, what do I do? What do I do? The guy's like, I'm here right now and she's here. Like, seriously, and Fred's like, what? Like, what the fuck? Where are you? Like, this kid was claiming he was right there and saw Summer Wells, and then he's at Playboy's and he's right there and he's calling Fred being like, what do I do? Like, I don't know what to do. And like Fred's like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. It's like, what's the address?
It's a dangerous game.
Yeah.
The kids could be at a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So it's like, do you believe this dude or what? But it's like, he never really gave up a specific address.
No, but we went over maps and stuff at Hawkins County when I took it in my phone deal.
Yeah.
We went over lots of maps and certain hotels and stuff that the kids were supposed to be in.
Yeah, they were supposedly.
The next week was when they sent those special tactics in from Texas and they were to Knoxville. They made that scenes.
Yeah. So we have so many cool, like, interesting things to talk to you guys about. You guys are going to be so, like, freaking interested in hearing this stuff. Well, I mean, a lot of the stuff, what is it? It's up to you guys for interpretation to decide, like, if it's what you think, if it's bullshit or not, because I don't know what to think about it. I mean, I've seen so many freaking people make up so many stories when it comes to Summer Wells and this case. Like, I don't know who to trust, what to believe, you know, and it seems like there's a lot of people doing that shit on purpose. So that's why people are doing this confusion, is because it works very well. And so, but it does seem like the whole saying goes, when there's smoke, there's fire. There's a lot of smoke at Knoxville. It just keeps winning Knoxville.
The one that was doing inside work for him being a Smith, you know.
Oh yeah, and guess what? Yeah, that's another thing. Guess what the guy's last name was? That we was giving. That's something that we just realized like a couple days ago.
I realized it a long time.
Oh, you did know? You did think of it a long time ago? I mean, you knew his last name was Smith, but you didn't. You even thought of the possible connection. So now he wonders, is he related to the Smiths on Ben Hill and whatever? I don't know. But, you know, that's such a common last name. Who's to know? So, yeah, this guy, he seemed all cool about helping with law enforcement and everything with Summer Wells, didn't he? He seemed like he was all, and he claimed he didn't want any of the money or anything. Or no.
Yeah, he wanted.
He wanted the money?
That's what got him talking more about it, you know.
Yeah, because we weren't interested or anything. Or no.
Yeah, he wanted.
He wanted the money?
That's what got him talking more about it, you know.
Yeah, because we weren't interested in the money. You know, Fred's like, well, I'm not interested in the money. You could have the money, right? But so the money thing was a factor. But it's so weird. Like, he actually called one time. It's like claiming he was there with Summer Wells, and like, I don't know. So what do you do? Is it bullshit or what? But I mean, the only smart thing to do is turn it in no matter what. Just like people want to talk shit about the bones and stuff. And I'm like, that was a whole joke. You know, it was not a joke at all. Like, I don't know if somebody played a joke, but it was not Fred playing a joke on me. Okay, because
it was like 75 yards from John Smith's desk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
On a property that was not really.
It was just across the property line.
Yeah, it was pretty much vacant at the time. But what are you gonna do? Like, people talk shit about that. Like, what do we do? Oh, chicken bones, or you know, they like nicknamed me Bones and stuff. It's like, what do you do? Like, so you're talking shit because I called law enforcement about that? Like, what would you guys do? Would you call law enforcement or not? If that's it, because how it happened is how exactly me and Fred tell you guys over and over again. We could tell you the story 5 million times. It's gonna have the same freaking details.
Well, first of all, forensics don't take collect animal bones. They don't string it all. They don't take and set up everything and put out a crime scene.
Yeah. So, and Fred, see, but you know, people are going to say, oh, Fred's lying. But Fred witnessed this stuff. He saw forensics out there. They taped up the whole scene. Yeah, he was the one that walked over there. I was the one that called law enforcement. I informed Fred. I was like, look, you do know I have to call law enforcement.
And that's why when I told you, since you was calling, they wouldn't need me going to town to call myself.
Yeah, because you have to drive like 20 minutes to do it. And so I just gave him a heads up, like, just to let you know, law enforcement will be coming out here, you know, if you have anything, you know, basically. So just saying that. He's like, yeah, and he was totally open to tell law enforcement and totally.
I found out that night that Dawn was home when the first 2 officers arrived.
Oh yeah, that's when you overheard.
Yeah.
You overheard them talking about saying who was the first on the scene when Summer went missing.
And having to be the 2 officers that come out with the TBI and forensics.
The 2 officers that were first on the scene at Summer Wells was also first on the scene with the bone situation, and they were talking about that they were there before the father, or is that what you said?
No, they was asking who was there when they arrived, and they was talking about Dawn and Candace, Granders, and the boys. They was asking how did they act, you know, each one, and was they upset, happy, whatnot.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, this is real life. I know it sounds like a freaking movie, but it's been fucking crazy. That's why I say, like, I feel like my life, like our life could be made a movie, like in the past few years, like with everything that's happened.
But see, like an awful thing, the week after they get the phone and they sent special packets and stuff in, they would have still got, but the names ain't never been released yet.
Yeah, we don't know. They don't tell people, if you submit a tip, like they don't have to tell you if anything comes under the tip.
They don't tell them.
Yeah, they don't usually tell you freaking anything. They don't like sit there and tell you, oh, congratulations, you're the winner. Oh, we got all these. Now you're going to find out, obviously, if you submit a tip and Summer Wells ends up being found, and you might, if there's a reward, something like that. But like if you submit a tip about something going on, like the bone situation, they're not going to call you back and be like, oh, give you all the all the freaking info, on what every piece was and which ones were human or which ones weren't or what was, what wasn't.
Well, like forensic was telling the other forensic man that was on the phone and stuff which phone should collect and which phone should dispose of.
Right. Like, and I told Fred that's what that was probably because like the expert that the guy had on the phone. How they had it on the phone, like that's crazy.
Everything. I mean,
that's crazy.
They said a cell phone tire, portable tires. Everything.
I was gonna say that's crazy. They were able to video call. So they were able to actually video call out there.
Yeah, they said a portable cell phone tire, everything on scene.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
So like, people, there's so much freaking. But I know it sounds crazy, but they came out there. I mean, they took that very seriously, guys. It wasn't a joke. And people have made it into a freaking joke, and it was not. It was a very serious thing. And somebody was actually on video call, like Fred's trying to say, and was telling the guy which bones to throw off into this. They were throwing them off to the side, like certain ones. You got to remember, it was very odd. Like these bones were crushed, and they're and the burning too. It was all weird. Like, you know what I mean? Okay, it could have totally. I mean, and I'm thinking too, if you're gonna try to hide something like some bones or something like that, something like crushing them up with animal bones or something like that, or with other animal like bones of animals and stuff, might be a good way to conceal something. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not. I just felt like that it was important to call that in. Now, should I have shown the pictures and everything that I had on YouTube right away? I guess probably not. Like I said, it wasn't. In case it was like actually a person or something, that would have been very I don't think very respectful. I can see how people could be upset with that. But besides everything else, I don't regret calling law enforcement and turning that in. And it was taken seriously, and they did collect Fred actually saw them have an expert on the phone and actually telling them which bones to freaking take and which ones to throw off. And
they number each bone and stuff and measurements, all that, document, pay in front of your face, everything, if it's not legit.
Right. Keep it simple. Keep it simple says, sometimes I wonder if law enforcement already knows what happened to Summer, but they don't have enough to make arrest yet. I know. Or they're trying to get bigger people. Like they have certain people pinned and maybe they don't want to alert others. Maybe there's some bigger person that are trying to get enough evidence on. And so they don't want to alert the uppers, the uppers, the people above, the little ones, maybe that's the only thing I can freaking think of because this seems so obvious to me. I mean, like me and Fred were just saying, like the only thing, Don's weird behavior where, you were talking about where he came in there to do crack or whatever, or when he was trying to hide that and do crack, like asked to sit in your driveway and smoke crack. And he was talking about something about what were we talking about the boys and Summer? Oh, sacrifice. We were talking about how he, we were talking about sacrifice actually, how, that Rick Crawford had mentioned something about Don Will saying that he had to sacrifice Summer for his sins. And Fred was saying like, what really was sacrifice? Did sacrifice mean? Like maybe it was just like sacrifice in a way, like he had to give up his daughter for a debt. Like some people would automatically think, oh, sacrifice. They're thinking of like a religious sacrifice or some kind of weird.
I believe that's the way it was meant to seem too.
Yeah, I think that too. Yeah, that Don made it seem like try to rationalize it in his head that he was making a sacrifice because he had to pay for his debt. And then it was weird, like too, because he had said something to you about the boys, like being afraid of the boys or something about.
Well, the night he went and got the 2000 crack and stuff from Knoxville, it's when he called the CPS to come get the boys.
Yeah.
trying to say it was because of YouTube, but what people don't know, he is owing a big debt that he left Knoxville with that hadn't been paid and was supposed to have been paid before morning.
Oh, so that night he was freaking out that something was going to happen to the boys. Oh my God! I didn't even think about that.
They're trying to get you to understand about Knoxville.
Oh my God, that makes sense, dude. He was freaking out because he thought that they were going to come the boys now.
Yeah.
So that's why he called the freaking CPS.
Yes, to come get them.
Oh my God, dude. That makes sense. See what I mean when things like what Fred says makes fucking sense? Like, that makes sense. Like, oh my God, dude, that freaks me out. He was afraid the boys were going to get fucking taken next.
Mm-hmm. Because that was when he still owed a big debt. He got $2,000 and still owed a bunch to him before morning. And that's why he was at the house trying to get me to go with him to take care of it. So
yeah,
deal with them.
Yeah, he wanted Fred to go with him that he had told Fred about some kind of drug debt he owed, and that he owed this drug debt, and he wanted Fred to go with him to negotiate with the people. And Fred was like, I'm not going. I'm not.
That was just a setup. Just make it look like I was involved in it. That's all it was.
Oh, and the Summer Wells thing. Yeah, he was.
Trying to put it on me.
Yeah, so he was trying to get you to go, okay, because this was after Summer went missing, so he was trying to get you to go with him, okay, to the dealers, because he probably wanted to get you involved so you can talk and tell what you know about, what you saw. Like that makes sense.
Involved and this and that, and this and that and
yeah, that makes sense. That's kind of like what P. Diddy did, giving all this freaking evidence, like blackmail on people, so they can't talk, That makes sense. That does make sense. So, and that makes a lot of sense to me about Don coming by there and freaking out saying he was tweaking. He was really, okay, he was also using crack cocaine. So he's going to be already paranoid, probably up for days. On top of that, he's freaking out because he knows what happened to Summer Wells.
He talked about destroying his phone that night, too.
He talked about destroying his phone?
Because he said something about he was afraid that they was going to try to come get mine or something. But I didn't understand that. I didn't have nothing on mine that I didn't want them to have anyway.
Maybe because of the drug activity or something. So he was trying to destroy his phone because why was he afraid of? So, okay, because he knows that he's freaking in some type of bullshit. And he's into some kind of.
People forget talking about Summer's hair getting long and stuff.
Yeah, right. That was weird.
And what was recorded and stuff in Knoxville, them talking about Dawn seeing her every 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's another thing that guy claimed is that Dawn had been visiting Summer every 2 weeks. That Summer Wells had told him that she still sees her daddy every 2 weeks, or something like that, and that she knows her name's Summer, right?
Yeah, but
she thought she's 9 years old though, and her hair is like longer. This is what the stuff he was saying. Like, you have to turn that shit in. And so it's really fucking creepy, guys. It creeps me out thinking about all this stuff because it's very scary.
If it's 100% legit, as a market device, or this year, some of us go up.
So if this is true, if the information is true that this kid was saying that was at that, we say kid because I say kid, he's actually in his 30s, but I think, yeah, he's not actually a kid. Yeah.
He's wanted in 6 different counties.
Now, what was I about to say? I was about to say something about him that was important. Yeah, he did seem to get freaked out. Like, he also is dealing with addiction too. So, and also, like, it would be scary if it's true. Like, it would be scary to actually do something. Actually
and he knew,
took action.
When he got the information and stuff, that TBI would be involved.
Yeah, he knew. So he knew. The guy claimed like he was totally fine with law enforcement and everything. Fred and made it really clear in a message that law enforcement was gonna see these messages and stuff. Like, it's like, and the guy acted like he knew that, and he wanted to like that. Basically, he had a freaking issue with Playboy. Anyways, was the thing, is what his claim was, But see, like, the Playboy bunny is a symbol of the Vice Lord gang. So
in Summer's futures, most of Summer's futures, if you really look, she's showing a Vice Lord symbol.
Fred thinks that in some of her pictures that there's some people that are like doing like gang symbols and stuff, and that they try to get Summer to do gang symbols and stuff. I don't know.
know.
Yeah, so they have one of their symbols is a Playboy bunny. So a lot of I'm sure there is multiple Playboys.
Yeah, there's 2 different Playboys in Knoxville.
I mean, right, there's probably like, that's what I don't know. I would think that there'd be some other people that might go by Playboy. Because it's kind of also like a saying, people used to call each other Playboy. Back like when I was younger, that's what people like my guy friends called each other and stuff like that. That's like old school. So, and I guess this Playboy guy is supposed to be a little bit older, a little bit old school. And so Ron is saying, yes, and Hunter threw up the Vice Lords at Horse Pond that day. I saw it. Yeah, he did. Jay-Z and Beyonce, I think, did something Kathy White because he cheated on Beyonce with her and then she went missing. Yep. Yep, always having something over on somebody. Yep, that's how they get you. That makes sense. Like if you can get blackmail on somebody, then you have them, So, and that makes a lot of sense. Like,
we're going to connect a lot of dots for people here in the next few days, and people get more insight of what
the way,
think really happens.
Yeah. We're going to talk about it on the other channel and stuff. I'm not going to keep going on this too much because it's not the channel for it. And I did title this all Science Fall readings. And I have to finish it from the last time. I only have Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, and Leo to do in this one. But yeah, I don't mind talking about this just for a little bit and stuff. But this is the kind of talks that we're going to have, open conversation like this, kind of like podcasty, where sometimes Fred might be there and we're having a just like laid back atmosphere. Nothing like putting Fred in like he's a circus animal or something. He's just not that type.
No, ain't nothing nobody can say that won't bother me. I mean, I know a lot more than they know about the case.
And about these people too. So he was already, Don had a debt when he called CPS.
Mm-hmm.
He had a debt and he was afraid. Allegedly, he was afraid. According the way Don was talking, according to what Fred is saying, he was afraid that these people were going to come and take his other kids because he was all paranoid. And that's why he called CPS. He was the one to call CPS and tried to play off like it was YouTube, and they needed to. It wasn't safe, and
kidnapped his boys. He wasn't like that.
No, he called them himself. Like he did that shit because he was scared that something was going to happen to his boys as well. So it's all starting to make sense. And we're going to make more sense and show you guys, like, I think when more people do hear Fred and us talk openly about this stuff, it's going to make a lot of sense.
It's going to make sense out of stuff, big cakes and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you could always answer any questions. Like, he's not afraid of any question. You're not going to ever catch him be like, it's funny because people think that they're going to catch him and be like, trick him and get, catch him off guard and catch him like with this certain question that's just going to get him, And Fred's just an open book, okay? It's just, yeah. So he just doesn't let the stuff does not get to him. And
my time for my crime and stuff, I actually been more open about a lot of things.
Yeah. Basically he's just saying that now that everything is done with the course as far as like what probation is asking you to do besides the actual time, like now it's just basically, okay, you come in every so often and we monitor you every so often and give you drug tests every so often, just basically stay out of trouble. That's like basically the point he's at now. He's got all the other requirements done. So, right. We're not planning on getting ourselves like, I don't know. It is scary to me, honestly. It gets scary talking about this stuff. It is very scary.
Yeah, it does get scary, but if you have children and stuff, you do whatever it takes to take and get their justice, no matter what the outcome is.
Yeah. And at this point, we're very emotionally invested, and I would think that people would understand, it's especially the position Fred was put in, and then now I'm put in, I mean, yes, I put myself there, but I had no idea that this all was going to end up like this. I didn't even imagine ever having a YouTube channel, like where actually people would listen to me. Honestly.
I think it's like on JC, a bunch of them. They have told a lot of truth throughout this case, but they put their own twist
right
to put a finger somewhere else. And so,
right, there's these sprinkled truths that are out there, like within their message is, you know, and they do tell truth, but you have to decide. But it's all about confusion. Yes, they do tell us the truth. They have put out the truth, but now we have to decide from. They've also put out a lot of lies too. So like it's like, okay, we have to pick out which ones are the lies and which ones are the truths. Because it just matters who's mad at who at that time or who, whatever. They can put out whatever they want now because look at Jody Sue said every single freaking thing imaginable, like about Andy, like basically from being this amazing guy, like and father to this like most horrible monster of a man, like pedo, like just, you know, weirdo, basically, like, you know, just painting him this scum of just the earth. I mean, it's the spectrum is just crazy. I mean, going from this greatest man ever to the scum of the earth, you know, like she said every single thing about him. And in there is sprinkled the truth, how she really feels. It's in there, but it's one of the many, like, and also the truth of really like what happened to Summer is.
I mean, I was misled. I thought at the first, I figured she was dead and stuff, but now I don't believe it at all.
Oh yeah, that's what we were gonna say. As of if that's what we were about to say. If this guy was telling the truth and he truly had seen Summer, as of March of this year, Summer was alive. If this guy was telling the truth. But that's a big if, right? Who can you believe after all these freaking people have come out and put out all this freaking nonsense? I clearly give you guys this information and tell you it's speculation or just hearsay. I never put stuff out as absolute fact. Even when it comes to Fred, I'll say Fred said this, or, you know, I make sure I add that in there because it is important that we stick to the facts, like, and not if we are saying things that we feel to be the truth and feel in our hearts to be the truth, like, it still doesn't make it fact. So I try to be careful, but, you know, I do have strong feelings on certain areas. And so does Fred. So I told her she can now relax now that Fred is gone. She sure the hell did. I told her, yeah, exactly. Keep it simple. Now she can relax. Fred's in Indiana. No more stalking Jody Sue. It's funny. Ended up getting a hubby. Yeah, you ever think I would never thought, like, I was never like the marriage type, like, really. As far as like, I mean, but when you find your match, I mean, he just fits well into my life. So I don't know. When it works, it works. So, but that's how much I believe in him, truly. And I've always, and that's how this conversation started. I was talking about how I've always like, defended you and stuff, or been like this, like always, because I always just truly felt he was being honest. I always did.
That's just like us. I mean, just about every conversation we have throughout the day, every day,
it's summer.
Always about summer, you know. It's over the case. I mean, just non-stop.
I know, you guys, it drives us crazy.
16, 18 hours for long.
Yeah, we're sitting here theorizing like non-stop, like every second of the day. I swear, like, even since he's been here this short time, you know, like we've talked about Summer, you know, it's everything. It's, yeah. So I guarantee she will say no more stalker now. Oh, right. Oh, stalker has just suddenly disappeared. How convenient.
What people don't realize, too.
Exactly.
People did stuff when I was back anywhere I was just to cover mine.
What'd you say?
I said, just like people don't realize that I was videoed and stuff everywhere I was just to keep from somebody to catch me up in something.
Yeah, or you would make sure it's in text or whatever. Yeah, Fred has been careful with that, like, so that he has evidence of things, like, so people can't like make up something about Fred. You know, he always makes sure that he has them, you know, communication in text. You know, it's not in voice. You know, it's or video or something like that. It's always in text. Something that's like, you know, something that's like video, something that's recorded that you have proof, you know, something, because it's super important. And it's the same thing that saved me so many times. People used to give me so much shit that my phone calls were always recorded. I didn't even realize, like, you don't even recognize, like, if you have an Android, there's an app called Cube, Cube, and it's like the best like call recording app. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I wish it would work with iPhone. But they do have a version for iPhone, but it's not. You have to manually do it every time. It's nothing like the Android thing. With the Androids, it automatically records your calls without you even knowing it automatically does it is great. So if you ever have a situation where somebody wants to say you said this or said this on this conversation on this date, this, you'd be like, oh, okay, let me go back to that date in my little call log. And we'll pull that up and we'll see what really happened. If you want to fucking, because trust and believe, when you are real and an honest person, you are the same like here as you are and alone. You know, but these shady people, only shady people do that type of stuff where they have to worry about their text being revealed or conversations. Now, I mean, it's not nice to do that to friends and stuff, but if you're in a situation where you have, I mean, sometimes you get in situations where it's important that you have that information, and it's super important. It's been super important for Fred's sake, obviously, in the situation he's been since the Summer Wells thing. I mean,
since I've been out of jail, everything I've done has been documented.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, everything's been documented and recorded, and just to make sure, like, it's, you know, he was, nobody could say differently than what is the truth. You know, we don't care what you put out about it as long as it's the truth. So, you know, and that's exactly, he's the same exact way. Like, I don't think I've met somebody that's like laid back. He's even more laid back than I am about it when it comes to that kind of stuff, which is crazy.
When you're not involved, you don't worry about it.
Can you pull a few cards? Yeah, I'll do that real quick. Let's see. Yeah. Hey, Fred, can you turn down that light just a smidgen? He's half. Okay. That one. This one. That ring light.
Turn it down.
Yeah, turn it down. You can just turn, like, yeah. That's good. That's good. Good. Okay. I've been trying to find my remote to this neon light over here. It's really cool, but I can't find it. It like beats the music too. Like, changes color and stuff to the music. Cemetery, he's mayor of New York, and his ties to Diddy. Yeah. I'll do that real quick, and then we'll get into these readings for the signs. Actually, we'll do this reading on Diddy, and then I'll have to use the restroom because, you know, I'm a grandma and I have to pee once an hour, and we're coming up on an hour. So we'll do that and then pee, and then we'll finish the signs and start on Taurus. Woo!